In this part of the video, I want to explain why a correlation isn't the same thing as cause and effect. In the last part of this video, I said that a correlation is a tendency for two things to go along with each other. It's a tendency for two things to go hand in hand. And it's possible for two things to go along with each other even if one isn't affecting the other. If two variables have a correlation and two things tend to go hand in hand, it means one of two things. It either means that there's a cause and effect relationship and one variable is leading to the other, or it means that the two variables that are correlated are both correlated with some third variable and they're connected that way. In this video, I'll share at least one example of a correlation that is a cause and effect relationship, and I'll share at least one example of a correlation in which the two variables are correlated simply because they're both correlated with some third variable. So my first example is commute time and commute distance. Those two variables are correlated because those two things tend to go hand in hand. When a person has a longer commute time, when a person has a longer commute distance, they tend to have a longer commute time. Those two things tend to go along with each other. And in that case, one variable is causing the other. The commute distance is causing the commute time. So that's an example of a correlation that is a cause and effect relationship. Now, there's also a correlation between washing dishes and taking out the trash. A person who's doing one is typically doing the other. Those two things go hand in hand. But those two things have no effect on each other. Washing dishes doesn't cause a person to have to take out the trash, and taking out the trash doesn't cause a person to have to wash dishes. Instead, those two variables are correlated because they're both correlated with a third variable, which is cooking at home. When a person cooks at home, then afterward, the person has to wash the dishes and take out the trash. So washing dishes and taking out the trash go hand in hand because they're both correlated with cooking at home. So that's an example of two things that go hand in hand simply because they're both related to some third variable, some third factor. So like I said, two variables can be correlated because there's a cause and effect relationship. One leads to the other. And there can be a correlation because two variables are both correlated with a third variable. In other words, it can either be that A leads to B. If A and B are correlated, it could either be that A leads to B, or it could be that C, a third variable, leads to both A and B, and A and B are both products or consequences of that third variable. So hopefully this helps you understand how a correlation can be cause and effect, or it can be two variables that are correlated because of their relationship with the third variable. If you have any questions, just let me know.